Okay, so a different camera angle today. Hopefully, might work a little bit better. Hey, there I am. All right. Well, don't listen to myself. Echo, 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 all the time. So. All right. So. Let's go ahead and test out the actual recordings. It's going to be a little different than usual. All right. Pop, 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 pop. Okay, so. All right, so we're going to test the recording in 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, there we go. All right. Beep, 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 beep. Data fix. Streams. Got a lot of porn. I said anything? Okay. Be a little different than usual. Alright. Pop, 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 pop. I think it's actually picking up the wrong. Alright, so we're going to test the recording in 1, 2, 1, 2. It sounds like it's using the webcam mic. Pop, 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 pop. Okay, well, it sounds like it's using the webcam instead of. Should be discarded.
Okay, pop, 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 pop. Probably sounds a whole hell of a lot better now. So a crappy webcam sitting on top of my computer over here. Pop, pop. Probably sounds a whole hell of a lot better now. Pop, pop. Probably. Oh yeah, much, much better over here. Pop, pop. Probably sounds a whole hell of a lot better now. Pop, pop. Probably. Oh yeah, much, much better. Okay, well. Ooh, 136 views lately. Okay, well, let's go ahead and start the pre-show. Yes, we got a little bit of time before we officially get things rolling. So I don't mind not anyone watching, but you know, Yes, Brody. Ah, yes. Once I start recording, buddy, you can't bug me no more, okay? No.
How am I supposed to know the password?
Well, then don't close my phone down. There you go. Alrighty, so Twitch. Alright. Tweet everything out, so put everything on Facebook and all those other places. And, you know what I mean? Okay, so we'll just save this in the archive in case anybody asks. So we will be doing a few new things soon, hopefully. Mainly, I want to start doing a few different. My blue shirt. Look, my purple shirt looks blue. I probably need to fix that. We're going to be doing a few things probably in the coming weeks. Hope to do a new type of show. A news show, actually, which is going to be kind of cool. One of us will actually record a news program once a day. I may take an occasional day off. It's going on, but I'm going to try and put a new show out every single day, a 5-minute show, just talking about, you know, stuff going on, things like that. You know, nothing too unusual. But you know what? That actually cleaned things up quite a bit, actually. Okay. My shirt looks purple again. Okay, so we got new shows coming up this soon. We're going to be doing a news show. Tentative name is 4TW Quickies. Yeah, no, bad puns and all that stuff. But, that's how I do things from time to time. So, that's coming down the pipe. Plus, I'll be doing my own stuff here soon. Should have some reviews up soon for some video games. I know we got Battlefield Hardline coming out. We're going to be doing something definitely for Battlefield Hardline. I know Cardi and myself are both planning on getting it. So, probably not going to do like an unboxing or anything because I haven't decided yet if I'm getting that physical version or a digital version. Probably digital, but given my slow internet connection right now, that probably take a while to download. Yeah. Anyways, so we're going to be doing that. If anyone has any suggestions for any reviews, any games you're looking forward to, you may want to hear our opinions on, let us know. We'll be glad to take a look at them and give you some feedback on them. And I have no problem reviewing games. I really want to start doing this and produce more content for the site. Excuse me, I've had a cold the last week or so it's kind of sucked. So yay, it's it at the Facebook notices. Okay, so what could we do? Something fun. Alright. So, get some crap set up here. Let's make sure everything's all set up the way it needs to be. Alright. So, I do, you know what? I had a few comments on the show last week. I'll bring it up during the show, but I have my own thoughts on the state of theaters at the moment, and do corrections. Nothing big. Mainly, there is, as far as I know, no Alamo, Texas. The Alamo Draft House is in Austin, and home theaters. Cardi's right. You can actually get a home theater pretty cheap. However, the price tag, he kind of hit it with this kind of a low ball. For a decent home theater, you're probably going to spend a few grand. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but the rule of thumb is you spend double on sound whatever you spend on video. So if you get a $1,000 projector, you're probably going to spend about $2,000 on sound. Personally, I do not go for the home theater in a box machines. The home theater in a box comes with speakers and a receiver and all that other stuff. Yeah, don't do that. Don't. You're just going to be sad and, quite frankly, probably pissed off a bit. I hate those things. They are pieces of shit. I do not recommend them. Now, have I had one? Sure. I've used them. At the time, I was, poor, didn't really have money, and really wanted a surround sound system. In that case, a nice theater in a box comes in handy. I think Cardi actually uses one himself. But I do not recommend it if you are actually trying to create an actual home theater. If you have a small TV or like a 45-inch TV and just want surround sound, they're fine. But if you're going to be buying a $1,000 projector and a screen, you're going to want a actual separate system. So what I would recommend buying is a decent receiver. My preferred brands are Denon, Pioneer, and Yamaha. Of course, you can also go like Marantz, which is Denon high-end. Pioneer Elites, but those are a bit overkill for this price range. I am a fan of Denon. I have a Denon myself. You can probably see in the back over there. If I maneuver right, nah, you can't see it. Yeah, I actually have a dent in myself. I love it. Speakers, it's all about personal taste. Personally, I am a Klipsch guy, Klipsh. Have been for many, many, many years. Some people don't like them because Klipsch is not the best at reproduction per se, or it's not as accurate. This means that there is some modification to the sound when it's produced. Mainly, it is louder. Denon uses horns. It is a horn-driven system, so usually you get a bit more bass. So it just sounds more voluminous. So it's not they are not the most accurate, but they are they are, in my opinion, they make it more lively. Hence why I like Klipsch and their horn-driven line. Now, the reference speaker is pretty accurate. I mean, they're very, very good speakers. I am by no means would ever diss Klipsch. There are other brands as well that are fairly well. Axiom is fairly well. You can get those off the internet, as well as some other brands. However, definitive. I've heard them; they're not bad. There's always the mainstays like Polk. Polk's not exactly a high-end name anymore. Neither is Pioneer does sell speakers. I don't recommend them though; they're not very good. Go to Best Buy, listen to what they have in their Magnolia section in the back, and determine what sounds best. That's really the best thing to do. They're fairly unbiased in there, so I would go that route. Don't go in there looking at projectors though, mainly because they don't only have usually 2 on display, and they're usually not the best representations of what you can get for the price. They don't usually have the cheaper projectors. They usually have mid-range. They're like $2,500 or so. They don't usually put like the sub $1,000 or the sub $1,500 projectors on display. For projectors, if you really want a projector, I do recommend that you look at my personal favorite is the BenQ W1070. Now, they do have an upgraded version called the W1075 that has came out, but it's actually pretty much the same projector with MHL added. MHL is the you can power like a the Google Play sticks without actually having to hook up the power cord. It's a cool little feature, but I'm not exactly need it, because if you're using a receiver, you don't need it. So I think it's not exact, and it's also got wireless HDMI, which, to be fair, if you want that, then go for it. So I'm not gonna hold you to that. And it looks like Cardi's talking in the Twitch chat, and I'm not paying attention. Yes, he's saying Cardi's in there. He's saying that his home theater in the box sounds awesome. Yeah, it's okay, but I mean, I would not recommend it. Back on projector real quick. There are 3 types of projectors that exist. There is the DLP, digital light projector or processor. The mirrors, you've seen those commercials, I'm sure. Many cinemas use those. Actually, pretty much all cinemas, the actual big theaters, use DLP projectors. They use 3-chip DLP projectors. DLP projectors that you usually buy in the stores are 1-chip. They actually have a wheel that spins to produce the colors. The drawback of that is it can produce a rainbow effect that some people can see, which dissuades many from using DLP projectors. However, do not let that deter you from getting one, in my mind. If you are a gamer, you must use a DLP. DLP are the only projectors that can get some super low lag time. In other words, there's lag time between when your device creates the image and when it gets displayed. Some are fairly high. Some 30, 40, 50, 60 milliseconds. That's insane. That equates to like ping, like a 60 ping. I mean, that's insane. If you're getting a 60 ms lag, you're losing like quite a bit. DLPs can be in the low 20s, some even lower. So that's why I recommend if you're a gamer and you're going to be gaming on it, get a DLP. If you're not going to be gaming on it, there are other options. There is the... it's a higher end. Yeah, it doesn't matter what high end you go with there, Cardi. It's a home theater in a box is a home theater in a box. There is no such thing as a high end home theater in a box. Now there are some really good ones. There are. But I mean, if you're in your bedroom, if you're in a bedroom or in a small apartment, get a home theater in a box. Seriously, those are the. If you're in a house and you have a living room, don't go that route. Anyways, DLP projectors, LCD projectors are the second most common type of projector that most people use. These use LCD. They're LCD. They use a LCD panel or little transparent LCD panels inside of them to produce the image. The thing about the LCD is they actually use 3, which gets separated into red, blue, and green. So you don't have to worry about the color wheel because each color has its own deal. Each color is separated and it's converged upon. Now, the downside to LCD is mainly that, one, it's not as film-like in my mind as DLP. DLP creates a much smoother and much better, more film-like appearance. DLP does have motion blur issues and does have jitter issues, which you see with LCD panels that exist with projectors as well. But they are very good projectors, and I do recommend them if you have a severe issue with the rainbow effect. They are comparably priced to the DLP projectors. They're usually around. You can get a good one for about $1,000. Epson makes some that are really outstanding. I think it's the 2030. There's a new one out now that I forgot the model number. That's really, really. I think it's a 330. They're really, really good. I was actually on the fence between that and the BenQ. I chose the BenQ because my wife said DLP or nothing. So she likes DLP. So I actually like the LCDs. I have nothing really against them other than the fact they do have a much higher input lag. It is not recommended if you play FPSs. You will die a lot. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can turn off every processing feature under the sun on those things, and you still won't be able to get them as low as a good DLP projector. The in-between DLP and LCD is the LCOS. LCOS are liquid crystal on silicon. What those are is DLP or DLP-like chips. They use mirrors, but instead of mirrors, it's a liquid crystal on the chip itself that is reflecting the light. These are probably, in my mind, right now, the best projectors. They can work very well for gaming. They produce an outstanding image, but they'll cost you quite a bit. The best ones usually can cost about $2,500 to $3,000, and for the best tier, they usually cost somewhere around about $5,000 to $10,000. But these are the JVCs. These are they call them the DLAs. Sony also uses these. They call them the XLRs, I think they're called. That's actually this, or not XLR. I forgot what their technology is, but it's the same damn thing. But if you don't have, money is no object in terms of $10,000. If money is not really that big of an issue with you, and you have the room for it, especially, it has to be dark. LCOS are not light cannons. Just so you know, light cannons mean they produce a tremendous amount of light. Now, the reason why LCOS are not is because they are designed to produce a more accurate image, to give you really deep blacks and really good, and a really good, rich picture. Because of that, you have to sacrifice with light output. It has to happen. It's necessary. You like DLP. My DLP projector is a light cannon. Seriously, you can stand in the room with the lights on and still make it a pretty decent picture. But the problem with that is I cannot get really deep, really deep blacks. Now the blacks are good; they are very good, but they are nowhere near what I would get with a LCOS or some DLP or some LCD projectors. It's a trade-off. But I have a room where I cannot completely darken the room, so other than when it's completely dark out, those blacks would just... The extra black level, the extra contrast in those projectors just wouldn't be worth it. So if you're in a living room situation where you're going to be in your living room, not in a actual like man cave or in some sort of, darkened room, sacrifice the black levels and get a decent projector that can withstand the ambient light, like a DLP, projector or a LCD projector that can compensate as well. Now, DLPs, in my mind, can produce better blacks levels than the LCDs can for the most part, but again, the rainbow effect can be the downside. So if you plan on getting a projector, find some with a DLP and go look at it. If you can't see the rainbows, don't worry about it. If you're slightly noticeable, don't worry about it. You're really only going to notice them whenever it goes from white to black really fast, or you dart your eyes across the screen, and you don't really do that too much. And no, I'm not being racist against blacks. Excuse me. But I would highly recommend you consider the DLPs. To me, those are the best picture quality in terms of actually looking like you get in a theater and having the best performance when it comes to gaming. Otherwise, if you're on a budget, go with an LCD, preferably an Epson or a Panasonic. Those are probably the two best brands in my mind. DLP, you're looking at BenQ or Optoma. BenQs, in my mind, are better than the Optomas. They usually are rated somewhat better, but the Optomas usually are a little cheaper and can put out some more light, but the black levels usually are not as good as the BenQs. For LCOS, if you're going to be looking at an LCOS, I would look at either JVC or Sony. They make probably, in my mind, JVC and Sony do make the best projectors outside of, unless you want to go to the $20,000 3-chip DLP route with Christie's or Runco or one of those guys, where you're going to be spending more money than most people make in a year, because those things cost about $20,000, $25,000, $40,000. Now, there is something really cool I did see recently I saw recently on a projector that Epson's putting out, is a laser LCD. It actually doesn't use a lamp. They usually use halogen lamps, but this one doesn't. This one uses lasers. Yes, to actually produce the image. And the image, from what I heard, is outstanding. Now, again, this is a man cave type scenario device. It is not designed for ambient light because lasers are not that bright, but it produces some of the best images I heard that you can get out of pretty much any projector out there right now for that budget range. And that's only about $6,000, which you may be like, whoa, $6,000 for TV. Consider there are projectors that are twice that amount that probably aren't as that have as good a picture. That's pretty amazing. The only thing is, Epson touts it as a 4K projector, but it's not 4K. So beware of that if you look at a projector. Currently, the only 4K on the market really is a Sony. The others are faux 4K. What they do is they use a 1080p chip, and what they'll do is they'll do this pixel shifting, so it will simulate a 4K picture by using a 1080p chip and producing the image in a higher resolution by duplicating the image. It's a little more technical than that, but that's the basics of it. It's not 4K. It's near 4K, but they still call it 4K. Yeah, don't lie Epson, and don't lie JVC. That's not 4K. I kind of held off myself getting a 4K projector, so I wanted a 1080p. But the good thing about a projector, though, is if you get a really good screen, I'd recommend Stewart. They're fairly well priced, or Elite if you're really on a budget. Mine is a Snap AV, but I got it from a friend, and it's a Stewart Simulate or Stewart equivalent, and it is a great projector. I prefer the Greyhawks. They are very good. If you get a gray screen, by the way, for a projector, it helps with the black levels. Definitely recommended that the projector you're getting is in a living room to compensate for the lack of blacks, or for the abundance of light to compensate for the lack of darkness. In any case, so that's my rambling for projectors. We're probably going to do a whole episode on these in the future. So I see Mario and Cardi are in the chat room, so we're going to be starting here in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go get me a soda because I will be coughing like crazy if I don't have one. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Recording, Brody. All right. So, okay. Mario's ready to go. Let me see if we can get him. Apparently not. Alright, I have nothing against... Oh, God. Chris Carter's in here making dumbass jokes about me not liking black people. Anyways. Oh, there's Mario. Okay. I don't know where it was. Ah, there it is. Hello.
Hey.
What's going on?
Sorry, I'm just eating my dinner. Sorry, I'm just trying to finish it up.
No, my dinner. No.
Exactly. So sorry to shush.
It could be like Chris and not even bother with that. Because usually he's the one who's like, I want to eat. That's okay. I'm eating a coffee right now, so I can't really talk. So.
Oh, under the weather today?
Yeah, it's okay. So. Got the fun going on today. So. Did you like my little rant on projectors?
Yeah, I did actually. It was pretty cool.
Right.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we're actually going to do a show on home theaters for Techno Ramble I've been writing. I just haven't gotten it all written out yet, so I don't have it really finished. But
Okay.
it'll be really kind of cool once I get it all up and running. Wow, I'm dropping frames like a mofo. Huh. Wonder why.
I don't know.
Yeah. That was... Might be a
All
problem.
right, give me like 3 minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah. I can figure I could split anyways. Well, that's not good. Yeah. And let me make sure I got everything closed out. Another weird run in the background. Oh, well, VMware's running. No wonder why I'm having problems. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that should be a little better. So, okay, so streaming, dropping frames. Yeah. Sorry if I'm dropping frames in the stream. I really don't. I have a kind of a crap network connection now, so it's not really much I can really do about that. Try that, see if that helps. Oh, I could just stop transmitting video to Mario. That actually helped. Oh, that might make sense. Oh, no shit. Alright. Start the local recording. Bloop. Okay. Well, looks like Cardi may be joining us this week.
Oh, really?
He just can't stay away.
Okay. I guess we can include him today, too.
I'm still staying on the same topic we're going to do, so.
Okay. I
know
just can't do it for too late
you've been
tonight.
wanting to do this one for a while, so.
If it wasn't for the fact that it was Valentine's Day last week, we would have done it. But
Yeah.
I know there's stuff. I know there are family members coming.
Hello.
Hey guys,
Hey.
So, Chris.
this is Cardi coming from you from Chopper 15 over here in Tampa.
Is he getting shot?
Yeah,
He's live in Baghdad right now.
I'm remote.
Golly, we're in
Remote
Bangalore.
underground bunker.
I'm not going to do video because it's probably going to lag me more and possibly disconnect me. So
Considering I know where you're at and how the Wi-Fi is there, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
we were actually just talking about you, or Megan's and me. We were just talking.
Oh, we're streaming, don't forget, so.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it later. But
Uh,
I need to talk to you after the show anyway about my about the editing Premiere. I have some questions.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about. I thought you wanted a raise.
Yeah, I want raised.
okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a 50% raise of what I pay you now.
Which is nothing.
Exactly. 50% of nothing is nothing.
Works out.
Oh.
In
Oh, and I
fact,
just
I'll
wanna
quadruple
say-
Works
it.
out, Justin.
I just want to say in advance, if there's any of those douchebags that were following me, trying to think they could troll me on Twitter because of the whole Cowhead Bubba thing, if there's any of you douchebags listening right now, you can all burn in hell. I'll see.
Well, you better go on Twitter and post that you're here.
Yeah. They're probably stalking me anyway. What was funny was they were
Somebody
making fun.
thinks highly of themselves.
Your podcast sucks, and yet it's not my podcast. It's
No.
that was pretty funny.
Fuck them. They don't even have a podcast. What the fuck they talking about?
Yeah.
Podcast.
It's funny. People on
Still
Twitter
give a
always
crap.
talk shit. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
They talk shit on the internet, but they
Were those the
can't
dicks that were in there last night or last week?
No, it wasn't. But
Or those are Twitch trolls?
Yeah. They're
I hate to
losers.
kind of say it, though. I sort of feel as if Twitter is the one place you either, when you're in it, I don't know, it does something. Like, you feel as if you're, not to say you're not important, like you just described now, Chris, the whole people stalking you, people saying this and saying that, and just not even leaving you alone. It's like, you know what?
Yeah,
You know
they
what?
don't like
Just
your opinion.
leave me
and then
alone.
what they do is they go create another account, then they follow you around, and they act
Yeah, I
as
know,
if
I'm like,
they care. But
mhm.
I'm just laughing the whole time. Like, this guy,
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
loser. He probably has nothing better to do. He's just sitting there and he's trying to get a rise out of me. Meanwhile, I'm just laughing, working, or doing something constructive, while his whole life is focused around trying to get a rise out of me.
Let's not lie. You never do anything constructive.
Hey, well, they don't need
He
to know
picked
that.
up the hammer last time.
Yes, he did. All right, well, let's go ahead and get
Just
things
didn't
started.
say-
It's 8 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and
Just
get
want to
things
say, by the way, I did mess up on the name of the movie theater I was talking about, but
You didn't mess up on the name. You messed up on where it is.
Where it is, right? Yeah, but you got the
It's located in Shermer, Illinois.
Oh, we got to go there, man. I'm telling you, we need to go there.
Yeah, we all do.
No one's dealing there.
Shit.
Jay and Silent Bob reference for those of you that don't get it.
Yeah.
Culture element. All right, let's get things on the roll. All right, and we will start in 3, 2. Welcome to 4TW Live. We're back. Well, at least Mario and I are. Cardi was here last week, flying solo. We decided not to put you or him through that torturous pain again, so we're back. I'm still under the weather, and well, Mario was busy, so you know how that goes.
Yep, bound chicken. Wow.
Yeah, Cardi's in a remote location today, so no video for him. But we didn't plan on him actually being here this week, but he still showed up. So
Yeah, just sitting here at work, doing my thing.
Yes. Well, joining me this week, of course, is Chris, the real Cardi Kovacs, Twitter flamer extraordinaire, and I'm not talking about the flaming kind. Well, maybe. I think it might just offended some listeners there. And Super Mario Banagas with a picture of Bending Rodriguez on his
Futurama.
Yes, love that show. Anyways, speaking of the future, this week we're not really going to be talking about any news. Actually, our news is actually going to be moved to a new show. I talked to Ricardi, and I think we're going to be starting our own news show every day, a daily news show. We're just going to cover a couple of brief news stories in about 5 minutes every day. If you guys want to help out with that, basically just get on, record for 5 minutes, and put it online. That's all you got to do.
Okay.
Pretty simple. Just talk about some news stories that interest you, and try and do one a day, or one of us will do one a day if possible.
Mario, get on there. So like
Zelda,
this
Nintendo,
black
Zelda.
guy got killed by this white cop again. Oh wait, that kind of news. Oh my.
Oh, okay. I'll just tell him how my date was. That's good news.
There you go. Mario's recap of the day.
Well, there is one news article I did see that I do want to talk about just briefly.
Okay.
Before we get into the main topic. They're making a new Alien movie.
Yes, I heard.
Neil Blomkamp, the guy who created created District 9 and Elysium, pitched an interesting idea to Fox. The idea was, and I think I've actually mentioned this before. What if they just said Alien 2 or Alien 3 and Resurrection were nothing but a dream? It was just something she had in hypersleep, and they've been asleep the whole time.
Yeah.
Looks like he's taking that and running with it.
It's a good idea.
What do you guys think? Good idea? Bad idea?
Good idea, because this is a way that they can not only bring back Ripley, but I don't know if you guys have seen on the internet, have been hit up by this petition that they want to do another Aliens movie to bring back Ripley and the other character
not Hicks. Yeah, Hicks. They're gonna bring Hicks back.
Hicks, yeah.
Michael Bain.
And this would be a good way to do it. This would be the way to do
Yeah,
it.
considering how they What about Newt? They're gonna bring Newt back? What the fuck?
Newt would be in her 30s by now.
Could explain it away. Malfunctioning cryopod. It's not that hard to explain away.
So timey-wimey's here again there? No, is that what we're going to do?
Why not?
Okay. Seems to be the way to fix everything here. There's a little flaw in the movie. Timey-wimey. There we go. Done. Fixed.
The doctor will show up. Oh, I made a mistake. Fix point. I wasn't supposed to rescue you. Oh. Oops. When you see the xenomorph Dalek, that'd be awesome.
Oh gosh, no. Oh lordy, no. I think it's a pretty cool idea.
You have enough bullshit
fan
fanfiction that's actually produced, let alone, that kind of crazy shit. Anyways.
I think it'll be pretty cool. I mean, I think I mentioned that last time we had our last episode. I mentioned that I think I think Sigourney Weaver's got one more good alien movie in her. I think she can still do a good job. I guess good faith for her. Mm-hmm.
If Arnold and Stallone can come back and Norris and all these guys, she can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then there's Eddie Murphy. All right, so let it go, dude. You're not going to be able to make another Beverly Hills.
Let it go.
Well, what is he making?
He wants to make Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
No.
Well, he did the pilot for the TV series. It didn't get picked up.
Okay.
But apparently they're like, this is actually pretty good enough. Maybe we can make it into a movie. And he wants to make it one last one to make up for 3.
Okay, I can
Oh
understand
gosh!
that.
Yeah, I can make up for that. 3 was ass.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it sort of was.
So let's move on to the main topic this week. So I think we've talked about this on and off and on the show a few times, but we never really concentrated on it, and that is digital distribution. So let's start with the beginnings, shall we, of digital distribution, as we call it. Digital distribution, for those of you that don't know, is of taking content and distributing it over the internet or in a digital form rather than a physical media like a disc or a book or something like that. Probably the earliest form I could possibly think of would be shareware through BBSs. You guys remember doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Downloading shareware from AOL, downloading the Doom shareware or Commander Keen or the original Duke Nukem.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And spending about an hour and a half trying to download the game, a 3 meg game from a dial-up connection.
Yep, those were the days.
Yeah, that was the beginning of digital distribution of software, really, was BBSs and downloading them online and things like that. But I think probably the biggest change to digital distribution wasn't exactly the most legit way, but through MP3s.
You are right, man. I think we talked about this one a while back ago. Was that through piracy? I'm about to say it, through piracy and the way how that was constructed, and yet certain people who are pretty smart looked at this and said, "Huh. Well, if they could do it that way for free, I wonder if people could do this if we charge them $1 per each song."
Right. Well, the game changer was iTunes. As much as I'm not a big
Exactly.
Apple fan, Apple creating iTunes and creating a legitimate way
I
of
don't know. Well, can I say something there?
Sure,
What about
sure.
you're forgetting
Yeah.
Napster?
Yeah.
You're skipping Napster.
Napster wasn't legitimate.
No, but it's
Not in
still
the beginning.
played an
Not
important role though.
Well,
It's
I'm-
still
not
played
in
a
the
role.
beginning, you're right.
Well, I think what Mario and I were talking about the legitimacy of the platform, because originally it was just a piracy platform.
Right, that's true.
And then
I mean-
Napster still became the first one to say, well, as mentioned, we'll charge them now $1.
Yeah, but they didn't have a way of doing DRM, so no one would get on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It got really complicated when iTunes came into the mix, because then, if I
Yeah,
last recall,
yeah.
there was a lot of
Yep.
weird, the way how iTunes had to encrypt the music, how it had to have its little signature on it digitally somehow. But then if you tried to move into like Android or move into something that was non-iTunes, it became such a huge problem to even migrate what you bought from iTunes, supposedly in the beginning.
And plus, you had to use iTunes. You had to use an Apple device. You couldn't use. Well, at the time, there weren't really many competing MP3 platforms. There was Roxio had one, and there were a few others. By the way, the iPod
Zune.
was not the first MP3 player.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was not.
That one's definitely not true. You're right.
There were many, many others. They all failed.
Yeah, I think
Zune.
SanDisk and who was some of the other ones.
Roxio. Creative
Yeah.
had one.
Creative Labs, yeah, they had one too.
Creative had one.
The
Yeah, I
Zen.
remember that. I used to have one.
Yeah.
I used to have a Creative Labs.
But I think the MP3 was the game changer in terms of digital distribution, in which companies realized, in which the physical media itself was actually at risk. Because up to this point, yeah, we had software that could get downloaded from the internet, but it took a very long time, and still, people preferred CDs. Or floppy disks. For those of you that remember those damn things.
Oh yeah.
They still sell them.
That's true, they do. They also still sell
They
film.
still do. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But in the last, I would say, 15 years, the game's really changed. Where physical media, some people think, is actually on the way out. We've seen the likes of, ebooks becoming big and popular, but some people still want the old-fashioned paperback.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix and services like that are and Vudu are on the rise, but some people still prefer to have the physical disc in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have games.
The big one.
Yes,
Totally different
games
story.
is probably. Excuse me. We've had the most radical changes in that area alone, but we'll get to that. So let's start with the different platforms that we usually use here. So let's start with audio.
Okay.
Well, we talked about MP3s being the game changer. MP3 is not actually the audio layer of the MPEG-1 codec. It's a video codec, but they just stripped out the video and used the audio layer.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool format. Excuse me. Near CD audio and revolutionized digital media as we know it. But there was one problem. You couldn't write protect it or put DRM on it.
Well,
Which cost a lot of people a lot of money. Supposedly. Do you buy that at all, that record labels actually lost money off of MP3s?
no.
As much as they said they did back in the day?
No.
I don't know. I would say it's a yes. I'd say it's a yes or no, probably. I mean, I'm gonna have to probably know with Chris on this one a little bit.
To me, I think it was helpful, because I know I listened to a
Yeah.
song I liked. I went and bought the album.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was
That's-
a way
that
to
was the-
sample things.
Yeah. It was, and that's one of the things that even though pirating is still existent today, and even though they changed with iTunes and Napster having that big lawsuit, and then they getting shut down.
Metallica sued him.
Yeah,
Metallica sued them, exactly. Even with all that, people still appreciated the fact that, hey, I can, for a small amount of fee, go, or in some cases they would let you try the music out first without paying anything, and hey, this sounds awesome, I'm definitely getting it then. And to me, that's been pretty much the main platform still to this day, and it works. And studios are just being, if they said that it affected their money, they're just being greedy, in my opinion. Because it's all about art at the end of the day, right, guys? I mean, it's about art.
We'll talk about that next week when we talk about the dark side of the internet, but the rise of net and fall of Napster.
That'd be a great topic to talk about.
That'll be a topic next week. But now when we had iTunes, it introduced the iStore, which led to videos being available online. Now, in my mind, this is probably another game changer, because Amazon has copied this model. Several other companies have copied this model. Not just the ability to stream, stream the media, but to actually purchase it and store it online in the cloud. Now, do you guys trust this or not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's about this,
What happens if you buy all episodes of Walking Dead and AMC gets pissed at Amazon and pulls them?
Well, that's what I was but that's what I was just about to say before you cut me off there. You're making a good point, but what I was about to say is that's why a lot of the movies and some even the TV shows now, you buy them and they include a digital copy. So you have the physical copy still to keep, but then you can have a digital copy, so it makes it easier to,
with sources like Ultraviolet.
Yeah, I was going to jump on that one with Ultraviolet. Ultraviolet was a pretty good example of that, where that's where I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. They're trying to see why they're really trying to do that quite a bit. Is just say, okay, you just got to have it covered on all the fronts here, digitally, DVD wise, Blu-ray wise, and digitally on top of that.
But you know what?
For like you said, at the worst case.
And Matt, you know what that flaw is? Why don't you tell everybody what the flaw is with the digital copy? Do you know what it is? What I'm thinking about?
You can just redistribute it?
Sorry, I'll say it. No, what it is you can't. It has an expiration date.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that pisses me the F off is that, it's like, why put an expiration date? You own it. I mean, why say you have until next year to acquire it? Like, really?
Oh, the redeemable code on it. Yeah, you're right.
Redeemable code, yeah.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. And that's bullshit. It might as well be useless at that point,
But do you think that now the audio and video are different than the other digital distribution methods in my mind? Because unlike with books or software, there is differences between the physical and the virtual product, particularly in quality.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, some people will argue that there's no difference between a digital copy or the digital download and the physical copy.
Completely beg to differ. I've used that with Ultraviolet with a couple movies that I've bought, and for some reason, with Ultraviolet in this case, and I'll just use an example. Was it Pacific Rim? 1080p, awesome on the Blu-ray, everything else. So I was thinking that the digital version of it, at the very least, was going to have to be something to cater to most resolutions of a lot of different devices you can use, because that's what it's designed to do. But yet, it's funny, I'll use that on my Nexus 7, and the quality's okay. I'll go ahead and bring it up on my computer, and it looks like utter garbage. I'm like, are you kidding me? So this is not even optimized for... Yeah,
it's 480i, I think, or something.
No, there's 480p.
Digital copies.
Well, some of them are HD now.
Yeah,
yeah, true. They're definitely getting a little better, but my gosh, I mean, this was only like maybe 2 years ago. HD was still already standardized. Oh, yeah. There was really not a reason why you should not have standardized. The very least, this thing should have gone just 1080p and scale it down.
Oh yeah.
Well. What can I do about it?
Not much, really.
Not much.
But then you have other services such as, well, Netflix. Netflix revolutionized the digital video platform by streaming media. A huge catalog of movies and TV shows for a low fee. Now, do you think this degrades the quality of, let's say, the DVD sets and things like that you can get your hands on, where people go, why go buy the DVDs when I could just get it on Netflix?
This will probably go back to what we've been saying a lot here, or you may point this out, Matt, but yeah, they can say all day long, yeah, why not? I'll just get, why do you need to get the DVD version? I'll just get it on Netflix. Does Netflix even have it? Is the next question I would follow up with. Because it's like 80% of the time, or maybe 75% of the time, give or take, they may, or they just won't. And then you just wonder, it was a pretty recent movie, or this was a movie that made fairly good money at the box office. Why don't they have it?
Or worse, you start watching a TV show and then all of a sudden they lose the license.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let me just say, and I'm going to give Matt a little. I think we should give Matt a little extra time to rant on it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Because both me and him can we've had many a times, and I'm because we're both collectors. We both have hundreds of Blu-rays and DVDs between us. And I specifically, I just have this addiction with buying trinkets and shit. And he makes fun of me. It's fine, but point being, we like to have our physical copy because guess what? In 20 years from now, I could say, bam, right there, that's my copy. And if Netflix was down or went away or sold off to some company, or that movie isn't available on Netflix anymore, or whatever the case may be, I have a guaranteed copy in my hand and nobody from me. You see?
And that's my problem with Amazon. People think Amazon could go out of business. I know they're a multi-billion-dollar company. It's not likely to happen. But people said that, all these other companies weren't going to go out of business either. No one's too big to fail. Yeah. If they go out of business, you'd lose all those videos.
Yep.
And Amazon has pulled stuff for copyright, like 1984. They pulled it from the Kindles.
Well,
they realized their mistake. Ironically, it was 1984. That's quite ironic, actually. But, they've done it, and that doesn't mean that other services can't do that as well. Now, conversely, you have services with software like Steam. Steam, I download it, there's no way they can touch it. It's on my computer.
Yep.
Fuck you. Now, Origin, I think, is different. I think they can actually touch it on Origin, can't they?
Origin, it's physically on your computer. It's
on your computer.
Well, what they can do, though, they have the ability, and you've seen this with the beta, but I think this is only with certain circumstances, like betas. They have built-in functionality where they can stop usage from their end. Yeah. So, like, all of a sudden you log in, and it like puts an X over it or something, you can't play it no more.
Yep.
So, yeah, there is that function, but you can... It's still like Steam on the other end if it's just a full game.
Now, the big thing with all these different types of media is digital rights management. This is part of the thing that made all this possible, was the ability for companies to say who can and cannot use the file. Everything we've talked about has some form of DRM, except for iTunes. They got rid of it. Thank God.
Yeah.
Now DRM, as great as it is, I think it's more of a hindrance than a help.
I'll tell people what DRM is in case they don't know.
DRM is digital rights management. In other words, it says who is authorized to use the media on hand. Whether it be some sort of metadata in the file, or a license key, or something along those. You got to use a special player, or something along those lines. Go ahead, Chris.
Mark, where are you talking about me? Oh, hi. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, you're about to say something, then you cut off.
Oh no! I was actually What I was saying is that just let people know who's listening in case they don't know what Because you're saying DRM, you're seeing all these abbreviations. They're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah, digital rights management. Now, there are good kinds that aren't very intrusive, which in my mind, the ACC DRM that Apple used wasn't too bad. I don't know why everyone made a big stink about it.
Yeah.
But then there's the bad kind. Things like SekiROM, which is one they put on CDs, or Sony's Rootkit that kept you from pirating their games. By the way, that SekiROM would only enable you to install a game 3 times before the disc was essentially a coaster.
Yeah, that's true.
Brilliant idea. But on the digital end, this has always been a problem, is the DRM's designed to stop piracy. But no DRM is foolproof. The DRM on every platform has been hacked, as far as I know. From the Xbox to the PS3 to the PlayStation to Steam to Origin, it's all been hacked in some form or another.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll talk about more next week. Go ahead, sorry.
No, this was going to go somewhere. But they've always tried to come up with new and creative ways to counter that. Unfortunately, they've also managed to piss off the consumer in the process. Like what Microsoft did. Or attempted to do with the Xbox One. Mario, can you explain what Microsoft tried to do?
Whew. Okay. Well, as many of us possibly remember, this was one of the big nails that Microsoft practically hammered onto their own coffin here last year. Almost a year and a half ago. So, when Microsoft unveiled the Xbox One, they had mentioned that a few things that, as Matthew said, just really peed everybody off. Number one was basically the whole, always online deal.
Excuse me.
But then after that was said, then they were basically talking about that. Okay, every game that you will be buying will be DRM'd on it. In this case, we'll have DRM, built into the actual disc. Essentially saying that basically you put the disc in, the Xbox, it recognizes that you are the only owner of this disc supposedly, and pretty much what it would do after that, the method of what Microsoft was trying to do here was that they were trying to basically say, you're the full-blown owner of this disc. You cannot take this disc back to GameStop and such to basically either send it back or to get it, obviously traded back in. Due to that, somehow, some way, the Xbox would basically tell that disc or somehow embed to the disc really quick that it's unsellable. Which
to interrupt you real quick, this isn't the first time someone's attempted something like this?
I'm pretty sure not, yeah. I'm pretty sure someone else has tried.
You know what the most famous one was?
Which one?
DivX.
Really? I would not have thought that.
Not the video format.
Okay.
That you think of. Chris, you remember DivX?
Yes, I do.
DivX is the product that killed Circuit City.
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
What DivX was, for those of you that don't know, was a competing DVD format when DVD came out. The idea was, you go to the store, you buy a DivX disc for like $5, and after 24 hours, the disc stops working. Or like 48 hours. But what you can do... Huh?
I was going to say, side note, they did try to bring this technology back with, Redbox.
Yeah.
Pre-Redbox, and it flopped, and they just went to regular DVDs. But go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. So that is, you put the disc in your player, and you can actually purchase it or get a license. It'll connect through the phone line. Yeah, that's pre-internet, people. Through the phone line and authorize that player and that player alone to play the movie. But you couldn't take the movie to a friend's house and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the problem with that, right?
Yeah. This was a $4 billion $400 million debacle for Circuit City.
Yeah.
And it's part of the reason why they went out of business. And Zenith was the other company behind it, and they went out of business too.
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge debacle. And, you figured after that Microsoft would have learned their lesson.
But no.
Well, this brings up a good
No.
good point. The main problem I think I see with with digital distribution is trading.
Oh
Not
yeah.
possible.
Nope.
Yeah, trading is pretty much off the table.
Which kind of now leads into a bit of the topic I wanted to talk about a little bit with this one. Is this question? Because my wife kind of went through something like this, and I pondered about it, and I'm saying, "Wow, so what's going to happen another 10 years from now with this?" So here's how this goes, and this is going to stick with digital distribution still. Let's get off the physical media for a moment here.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and say I buy a game on Xbox One, PS4, Wii U, or Steam, whatever the case is, right? And let's just say I absolutely hated the free, and absolutely after the first few hours of trying it out, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. How do I either A, get a refund for this for this crappy game back, or B, how do I actually redistribute this thing back to get some money back? For misjudgment. How does a GameStop system convert from physical media to digital?
I got an answer.
Or can it?
Well, wait. Doesn't one of the platforms allow returns?
Only one that I've seen. When my wife bought something on Android on the Play Store, when she bought a game, it
Play
actually
Store.
had a refund button for about 3 hours, is what they said. I think it was 3 to 4 hours. The refund option is still available.
I think they need to put that on the Xbox.
I think they have to do it on all of them.
No, they do have that on the Xbox. There are some games. I remember this, my son, we bought a game, and I went back in, and it actually had the option to refund. It was there. I'm almost 99% of that.
Yeah,
sure
but it
of that.
doesn't stop you from being able to return Smurfs 2 when you download it.
Now listen to this. Now I was saying there is kind of a solution, kind of a something on the horizon that may make you feel a little bit at ease. Okay, and I found this via extension through a lot of professional gamers are sponsored by this company, and the company is called G2A. I don't know if you guys have go to G2A.com. What this site does is they offer selling and reselling, trading, like you could sell to somebody or you could buy from someone else. Actual digital copies at a discounted price of a specific game.
That's already been owned and played,
That's
technically speaking.
That's a digital, say, a Counter-Strike, or let's say that's, what was that? What's that game that Evolve, right?
Yeah,
you can actually get Evolve for like $38 and change from this site.
Right now it's on sale for $40.
Yeah, it's $40, and you can get it. But the point is, there are even cheaper ways too to get games through this site, and it's actually trading, allowing you to basically recoup some of your money from that digital purchase.
So in a
and
way,
it's all legitimate.
So
everything, by the way.
I'm on it right now. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
My next question comes into it. So you're basically relinquishing full rights that I'm no longer owner of this game. So the question now, then, my big question is, let's say for example it's a Steam game. If this was something I can sell through here, but it's on Steam, then technically speaking, it's either they force me to basically uninstall the game off the drive at some point, right?
Well, yeah, that's the whole. Here's where I think you have. Well, they have updates because they'll come out with patches. You also have DLCs. Which we didn't really get into that yet, but DLCs. DLCs come out and they may enforce. Hey, where's your CD key at? Boom.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but you do make a good point. There are some cases where you will have a copy already installed, but then again, I think from what I'm hearing. Origin, Steam, and a few others, even Microsoft, are making it so they will have some kind of control over your copy that's installed on your computer.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of gets to what Matt was talking about, where like Microsoft.
So it's almost like there has to be a handshake between, let's say, who the vendor is who's doing the trade-in for you and Steam or Microsoft or PSN or where. There has to be some type of handshake that still has to be going through the software, through the game, to say, Mario is selling it right now through XYZ. Handshake this off, take that off the drive. It's gone from you, Mario. You got your $10 for it.
Yeah.
But there you go.
And the way it works is, from my understanding, I've kind of figured all this out before we. That's why I wanted to get into this, because I knew we were going to get on this topic, and I think this is valuable to mention. From my understanding of it, you sign a thing. There's pre. You basically log into your information through their site. Everything's all done and legit on the level, and there's no breaking of copyright whatsoever to exchange digital copies. Because there is a loophole, and if you authorize it, and this is through everyone. I'm talking Origin, Microsoft, everyone. So basically, you sign in. You're authorizing with your sign in that it's okay to transfer said copy from Steam to this person, and it's basically through a transaction. And then once it's completed, it's all on the level. If there was a protesting issue, someone tried to scam, they have countermeasures in place for that. I mean, it's all on the level. But here's the main thing. You're talking about a handshake. Now, things it looks like they're leaning towards is to where kind of what Origin is kind of doing now, to where they're going to have kind of a built-in kill switch, if you will, to where at any point in time, if that copy doesn't belong to you anymore,
you won't have access to play it at all.
Because have you ever noticed just about every game now, especially EA games and stuff, what happens before you even get in the game after all the loading stuff? Usually you see logging into EA server.
Oh, yeah.
It's because a lot of the games are incorporating that functionality, because eventually that's how it's going to be. You will have some kind of online handshake connection with said company who controls it. So if there is a case where you don't own that copy anymore for whatever reason, then you're not going to be able to access it.
Well, Steam did a culling not too long ago where oh no, who did this? Someone did this recently. A huge culling and it was Origin, wasn't it?
It was Origin.
They did a huge culling, and even some legitimate keys were deactivated.
Wow.
Yeah, there was an accident. It was a big F up, and it disabled legit accounts, and it was I don't remember the exact, but I remember seeing the news on it.
Yeah, because apparently somebody was generating bogus keys and selling them, and people didn't know that.
Yep.
And they got burned.
A lot of it had to do with, it was Origin, you're right.
Yeah.
It was Battlefield. I want to say it was Battlefield server, but I don't remember which game it was exactly. I think it was Battlefield.
Yeah, it was. But, we've talked about this before. They've always seemed like the game companies want to do whatever it takes to stop the trade industry.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we don't make money off this.
You can see that.
So why should we allow it? And I'm like, you're hurting your base here. I mean, trading is completely legitimate. It's legal. People have argued that. It's been court cases, and it's the one thing that the studios have always hated, and more than anything is either they figure out a way for you to have to pay every time you use it, which they have a way now. Thank you, DLC and MMOs. Or
exactly.
Pretty much what it is. Or they make it to where you can't, or the trades, because of trading, you get it for a cheaper price, and they never see a dime of that money. But that's also what keeps GameStop alive. I mean, most of the money GameStop gets to keep alive comes from trading. And actually, Best Buy has got in on this, and it's helping them pad their bottom line.
Yeah, they're trading. From what I heard, they're trading because they don't just do games; they do other stuff too. But their the most revenue they get out of that trading section is from the games, and then everything else is kind of like in the bottom percentage. So.
But
hell, they're even doing it with cell phones.
Oh yeah, that is true. They are. But is this the beginning of? Are they going on a slippery slope with all this? What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Mario. You go first.
I think it's probably a little preemptive here. I think this really needs to be baked in the oven a lot longer, because no pun intended.
Right.
But I mean, what I'm looking at right now, like with G2A right now, adamant. Okay, fine. Someone had to start it.
How does it work?
You know, I'm trying to look at it right now. Like I'm looking at
You talking
PlayStation 4 titles right now,
GTA.
and they've got like The Last of Us
G2A.
right now.
G2A. Yeah.
It's like they've got The Last of Us right now for $15, but they got 5 sellers and selling it from roughly that price range. And what they're giving you is the CD key, according to what it says.
Exactly. That's right. They give you the CD key. It's a digital copy, and then it transfers over.
And so then that
I-
person who I got it from won't be able to play it no more on his PS4, or it'll be deleted, or it'll say no, you no longer have ownership of this title, or something like that.
I wish I was home because I had the pay. But if you navigate through the site, there's a Q&A section or FAQ, and there was, and it pretty much it explains exactly so you understand how it works. Like, how does somebody sell their like what's the whole process, and it explains it if you just navigate a little bit. But it's definitely on the level though.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this can be that, you know, the way of the future, because like certain things that we have in our lifestyle that have been a certain way, but now we're moving into a different era of things. Typically, that type of service has to change somehow. That's not to change, but it's got to evolve, because if it doesn't and it stays, you know, too much the same way it is, but we're going so far ahead the other way on other things in our lives, then either the service is going to be done with at some point, or, you know, the service can still go as long as they change appropriately, or at least someone's got to put the standard on the table and say, no, it's got to be done this way, because if not, we're having a lot of problems.
Well, the point to the fact is that everything has been pretty much been going in the direction of when you're at home, or when you have access to your mobile devices of variety kind, or if you have access to, when you're home, your different digital devices, you can basically do everything, including things that you used to be able to only do outside of your house.
Oh yeah.
Ergo,
exactly.
You know, trading digital copies or even hard copies. And the way, if I remember GTA, if you're selling a physical copy or a CD key and you own that and you're selling it to somebody else, if I remember correctly, you end up sending that disc in. And it's sort of like when you do Netflix, they send you a disc, you send it back when you're done. So it's giving you that more, you know, your base is your online, and everything's handled through the mail. They have a big warehouse somewhere, and, you know, bing, bing, boom, done.
So in some weird little way, Microsoft, well, maybe not them first, but I'm saying what they were probably trying to get done on the Xbox One sort of sounded like this, but the problem was full execution, and fully how the heck they worked was
terrible.
The execution, and even explaining it was god awful.
Oh, they explained it so bad. It pissed. Well, you saw, right? You saw the videos. It pissed a lot of people off. Everyone's like,
I wish,
and all that shit.
Yeah. I wish
I
did not recall of it. I mean, I think Microsoft should have kept this completely hush hush, and maybe talked about it subtly. Let's say within another E3 or 2 or 3 from now, kind of saying we're kind of testing these waters out. Xbox One's already out. Everybody loves it. Everybody likes Xbox Live. Yada yada yada. However, we're exploring the waters of this, and this is what we have plausibly in mind in the future, but not out the gate.
Yeah, but you can't retroactively do that, though. I mean, you have to have it in the platform to start with. You can't just say, well, now we want to put DRM. It doesn't work that way.
Sure.
And that's
maybe not full-blown DRM. Maybe some form of it. I don't know. Or just another...
Switch or
it was still Microsoft's worst debacle, because, I mean, I think we can all agree this is the thing this is the debacle that caused Microsoft to fall behind in the console race.
Pretty much. Yeah. Sony saw what they were saying, and I bet you money to everybody, they were smiling the entire way because they knew, that's not going to work.
Well, I bet you dollars to donuts that Sony was sitting there watching that whole thing, and
that's a big deal.
Yeah. Don't touch donuts. Anyway,
they were bro-fisting everybody and just say, "Oh, we got this."
They were watching that video when they talked about all the shit that they were doing, and Sony's like, "Yeah, basically, we're going to do the opposite of everything they just said. and everyone's going to be happy.
Yeah.
That's some freak
I like the video of like our trading program, and it's just hand the disc to somebody
That's
else.
just right over to somebody else.
I'm like, that's awesome.
That was pretty awesome.
Oh man, I'll give Sony props to that part. When they found the opportunity to strike, they struck hard. I'll give them props to that all day long.
Bad,
all day long.
It's bad. It was good.
And that's contributed to now 18 point something million PlayStation 4s, sold and such. But still, again, though, I'm still kind of leery. Yeah, it's sold this much with enough steam, but is that steam going to eventually slow down?
Yep.
It's kind of hard to say at this point.
But that's yeah.
Because, hey,
but that's for another.
Is Matt going to get a Xbox One or PS4? Is it going to happen sometime in the near future or never?
No.
It's not.
I have a PC. There's nothing. I've said this once. I'll say this again. There's nothing I can't do on my PC. I can do on that those can do that I can't do on my PC.
Exactly.
Nothing. And I don't. There's no console exclusives that make me say I have to own this.
Zelda Wii U.
Huh?
Zelda Wii U.
Well, okay. Well, yeah. I own a Wii U, but I'm a Nintendo fanboy, so I admit to my problems. But in any case, despite that fact, I do not foresee myself in any time now or in the future purchasing any of these. I have not seen anything that made me say, I have to have this.
Like, this is amazing, must have it now.
Yeah, nothing. Have you seen anything? No. I mean,
no. You know what? I've seen lots of disappointments. I've seen Rise,
like the one that just came out a couple days ago called The Order.
Yeah, The Order. From what I'm hearing, a lot of people are saying just like they did with Watch Dogs, it was kind of a disappointment.
The only thing that came out of in good reviews is that visually, graphically, it's the game that has probably now set the bar to say, yeah, games have to start looking this darn good, but they have to start playing a little better than a PS2 game.
I wanna switch gears on this real quick from gaming to what is probably becoming, in my mind, the most important form of digital distribution in the last, I would say, last few years. Television.
Sure.
All right. So the standard model was, hey, a TV show's on. Let's watch it. Now it's, hey, a TV show is out. Let's download it or watch it on Netflix. Is this going to affect the way television shows and movies are produced in the future? Netflix has already produced several TV shows that are critically acclaimed. Amazon is trying to. I think they had one show that actually won an Emmy. And there's little to no big studio involvement. They're producing them all in-house. They're even picking up canceled TV shows and bringing them back from the dead. And just bringing them directly online for later distribution on DVD as well, which they did with Arrested Development. And I think Hemlock Grove's on Blu-ray too. And we've talked about, HBO's going online with their own online streaming service that doesn't require a cable connection, and so far others are doing that as well. Oh, Cardi subscribes to WWE TV for God knows what reason.
Listen, WWE Network, okay, it's more than... First off, I get all the pay-per-views, and there's also past... I love watching the old school ECW matches from back in pre-2000. Like they
just
have
to piss you off
archive.
on what wrestling's like now. I'm like, go! Why can't it be like this again?
Oh, yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Do you guys remember? He's an employee at where you work at, Chris. It's Brian Burnick, or known as Jet Jaguar. Not sure if you know him. Yeah, he subscribes to it too, though, and he kind of says the same thing. What he likes about it is looking at the old stuff a lot more. Was the bigger driving factor for him to subscribe to it.
Not to go too into this, but also I like the NXT stuff, the news, because it actually is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
But we're seeing that this trend. I mean, if the NFL didn't, if DirecTV didn't pony up a couple of Brinks trucks to the NFL would be online right now. You can thank DirecTV for that, by the way, for not happening. But is this going to be? Do you think this is going to create better content or worse content? How do you think this is going to affect content going forward as far as television programming with the rise of Netflix and Amazon?
I hope it really tells them to start making a little better content because, come on, you can't tell me for most of the TV stations we've got cop shows that are slightly different than the other, but not by too much though. Same type of protagonist, same idea here, and yet for me, I just look at it and say, it's done. I've seen it. Or certain fantasy films that can sort of fall into the same category. With certain shows I've seen on Netflix, like Orange Is the New Black, great show. What was it? The United States of Tammy, I think, of Terra was another one.
Refuse to watch it. It's Diablo Cody, that pretentious bitch.
Yeah. So, and Hulu's doing the same thing too. They're getting their own exclusive and their own shows as well, and they're all pretty darn good. I'm really hoping, we go for better content. I'd almost want to say this: instead of making a show standard 8 seasons long, is how far can you stretch the story? How far can you get your writers to do, good writing here? Make it 5, make it 4. But yet make it really good on the writing.
Netflix has a Marvel series coming out. I think they got Daredevil and what's the other one?
I'm willing to give it a try.
Yeah, Chris, what's the other? What are the series Netflix is producing? Chris.
I
think he's muted us.
He's probably. Oh, it's back to work now.
Yeah. Anyways.
Hold on, guys. Give me a second.
Yeah. He done broke something. Anyways.
So moving along.
They're making a couple of series with Netflix, which, by the look of it, they may be better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Nice.
But
not to say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was horrible. It needs some work, but it wasn't.
Well, that's a topic for a different show.
Yeah.
But we've seen that, and not only that, did you see that they're also producing Adam Sandler movies now? Adam Sandler's producing movies directly for Netflix, completely bypassing the studios. Mainly because I think the main studio who was giving him money got hacked, and many emails got linked with them essentially saying, "Why the hell do we keep giving him money?"
Because his movies sell well.
Yeah. So, screw that crap. So, this is going to be probably what's going to shake things up for the most in terms of the standard model that we know of is Netflix. And
all right,
Amazon.
Guys, sorry, I was trying to get to my car. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, Netflix and Amazon are going to be changing the current models. We've already seen other people go strictly with what about the VOD route? The theater. Cardi spent last week talking about theaters where studios are already testing the waters of putting movies directly on demand for $30 a pop instead of like $19.90. Well, you got to remember, it's first run release. So rather than going to the theater, you pay for the movie completely upfront through the VOD provider. Which...
You fucking piece of shit. Sorry.
Well, you too, asshole. Oh.
Sorry, this fucking guy just pulled right front. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're doing a show. I don't need your commentary while you're trying to drive home.
Sorry. Continue.
Huh?
You say continue.
Yeah, but that's what we're going to be seeing now. Things are going straight to VOD. They attempted it with a few movies lately where the studios actually the theater said, if you do this, we won't show your movie. But there's going to be a point where that's not going to work anymore.
The theater is going to... let me ask you this. do you think the theater, or just cinema altogether, go watch it and take the time to go, do you think that is going to go away? Let's just toss a number out there, 20 years from now. What do you think?
I think the model as we know it will, but the theater will not.
Okay. All right.
What I foresee happening is the destruction of the studio system as we know it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guys. My Wi-Fi went to wireless. And disconnected.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the end of the studio systems as we know it, the way movies are currently done. You got people like Kevin Smith bucking the system by self-distributing. We have other people self-distributing movies. You know, that's, I think, going to be the future is self-distribution. Not having to rely on a studio for marketing. Because before, the big expense was you had to do prints. And they had to pay for that. Chris, do you have your window down?
I had to roll it. It was like cracked or some shit. I got it. My car's kind of loud, so I might have to cut off if it's going to be too noisy.
That's fine.
But
we're about to wrap up anyways. But I think that's going to be the changes the model. So I think in the next 20 years, we won't have Warner Brothers releasing movies. I think you're going to have Legendary themselves or Dune Entertainment or those smaller production companies distributing the movies themselves and not needing the big boys.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. I mean, when you think about like YouTube, right? How many people release actual movies on YouTube? Like the whole Mortal Kombat series, for example.
Quite a few, and they made money off it too.
And they actually made money.
And that's another distribution model. The digital distribution is YouTube. I mean, that's what we're going to start seeing is the traditional way things are done are going to be breaking down. And because of that, we're going to see things done that we've never could see before because the studios are like, you need to put this much money into it. In reality, you don't. It is outrageous for you to have to spend $200 million on a fucking movie.
That I can completely agree with you.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where they're showing more and more that these independent movies and these smaller houses can use way under $1 million and create these multi-million-dollar hits. You know.
Yeah, I mean, Paranormal Activity was a fluke, but there have been other examples of that lately too, where they've done that as well. We're going to see a complete revamp of what we know of as how movies are distributed here probably in the next 10 years. I think VOD is going to take over, internet distribution is going to take over, and theaters, I don't think they're going to be a thing of the past, but I think they're going to be kind of like, going to the opera or going to
going to a movie or going to a theme park. Like kind of that same experience, like, oh yeah, let's go to this place, that we could spend all kinds of ridiculous money for food and
because
if
they weren't so damn afraid of digital distribution, they wouldn't be done 3D, 2D, or 3D, IMAX, high frame rate. All this wouldn't be coming out unless they were threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's exactly it.
So it's going to change. But
I think what it's going to become is, but honestly, I think the movie theaters are going to become more of a not just like a theme park, but almost like
practically are at this point.
Well, actually, it is like kind of like it is now, and mainly
you're sitting in a D-box seat. It is a theme park.
Yeah, I mean, with the D-box, we actually tried that out, me and my son, because he was begging me to try it. So I think we saw. I want to see this second Spider-Man movie.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Well, let me tell you, the scenes when like Spider-Man is like pulling himself up like the side of a building.
Did you get the contact highs from sitting in the seat?
Yeah, that would be 40, Matt. If it was like 40, you get you get the marijuana smoke from from Garfield.
Oh gosh.
That he puffs between takes.
He ain't Spider-Man no more.
Yeah, he's high as hell, Spider-Man. And he names his bong the Green Goblin.
My gosh.
He's like, come here, Green Goblin. I'm gonna get you my spider.
I call this the Dark Ark because it's got
Oh, yeah,
hookah
his
the doc
hookahs.
I'm gonna throw
Doc
some
Ock.
pumpkins after you.
He calls us hookah Doc Ock. That's perfect. Oh, yeah.
All right. So, you guys got anything else to say on this topic tonight?
Yeah, for all those people who wrote the petition to take Scarlett Johansson off Ghost in the Shell, why? Come on, just leave
Okay.
it alone.
We're going to do this on a future topic about adaptations.
Yeah.
All right. You can take a Japanese movie and convert it into and Americanize it if you do it correctly. Same thing with you can take anything and convert it to another culture as long as you are respectful to the source material.
Precisely.
People
Like
when
Godzilla.
Yep.
Godzilla was respectful. You
Yeah, what do we have those talks? Me and Mario were talking about anime, right? And
Mhm.
even though I'm not a big anime person, there's one thing I know about anime is that you have to get into it. It's at a level of understanding the culture of the Japanese culture because it's unusual.
Yeah.
A lot of things to them is funny, where to us is like, what the fuck
British
just happened?
comedy is a perfect example of that.
That is
it
too.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, how
That
many
is
British TV shows have they tried to convert to American audiences and it just fail?
The IT crowd, and that one failed on its tush. And
Or
What was the one
ouch.
with
coupling,
what was
or
what was the one with the werewolf, vampire, and ghost?
being human.
Being human.
Is moderately successful.
It was okay. I mean, the conversion to the U.S. version wasn't bad. It
To
was
be
almost
fair, the U.S.
pretty
version
close.
was better than season 4 of the parent series.
Mm.
Well, we won't talk about that. But yeah, I have no problem with it. It's like, Keanu Reeves as Spike Spiegel? What the fuck? Actually, he's fine.
After seeing, a couple mock-ups of it, I could say, yeah, he could almost do it.
He really could. And
Yeah, Ronin 47, by the way, is an example of fucking it up. By the way, I don't know if you've
well,
ever
okay,
seen
you know
it.
what? You know what a perfect example is? Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow is adapted from a Japanese book.
Yeah, it is.
And it is a fantastic movie, I hear.
Okay, by the way, let's just say we're starting this topic. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
No,
Why
no,
not?
no.
Come
We're
No, because this is
Come
like another
on.
30 minute. This is like another 30-minute talk.
no, because then I'd have to split the episode into 2 episodes, and
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
and
All
I
have
gotta
to say-
create a
all I
list,
have
and
to
we
say
have to
is-
compile a list of things to talk about because there's a
Yeah.
lot.
there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot
we'll
more
continue.
bad than there is good.
My
We'll
last
put a
word
pin
to
on
this.
it.
Oh, by the
My
way,
last-
Speed Racer, fuck you, awesome movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Yes,
Okay.
I like Speed Racer as well. Fuck
All
everyone
right,
who
all
does.
right, all right. I'll give you credit there where credit's due. I'm just gonna, before we put the pin on it, I'm just gonna simply state this, okay? For people who just have a problem with Scarlett Johansson being the major of the Ghost in the Shell film, need I remind everybody: Dragon Ball Evolution. Thank you.
Oh
Good night.
God!
Ow.
Oh, that
Ow.
was
And-
gonna be
I don't even
You know
really
what?
like Dragon Ball, and that was painful.
And you know what?
Yeah.
One last one. Dead or alive. Good
Hey,
night.
to be fair, even the Japanese, when they adapt their own shit, it's usually pretty crappy.
Yeah, that's true.
But not that crappy.
Have you seen the Ranma 1/2 live-action drama?
Never knew it came out. Don't want to watch it.
No, don't.
Matt can't get his part of his life back that he wasted.
No.
Better yet, the Tekken movie. Mind you, they
Oh,
Actually, that
mind
wasn't
you,
too
they
bad.
made 2 of
I
them.
actually like the
Wasn't-
Tekken one.
The
to be
first
honest
one wasn't
with
too bad.
you. It wasn't too bad.
It had the dude
was
who
what
played
I-
Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat in it.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
It's
good.
like, fuck that shit. I got standards.
And to be fair, the DOA movie was exactly what I was expecting from a DOA movie.
Eye candy for the first 5 minutes, and the rest of it was just absolute.
Complete vapid
cares?
bullshit. Yep, that's pretty much the game. So.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Congratulations,
the
you
game,
managed to successfully capture the exact tone of the video game.
A little bland.
which is not a good thing.
That's a little bland.
Not a compliment.
Not a
All right.
compliment whatsoever.
Cardi, where can they find
All
you?
You can find me on Interstate 4 traveling west. Oh shit! Actually, you can find me at symbol call me Cardi, which is my Twitter account.
He said
I'm on there a lot now.
Just so you know, he said at call me Cardi in case you can't hear him over his phone.
Oh, you jackass! And then there's also I'm still working on therealcartman.com. Almost done with it. Just had a lot of shit come up, and also 4TW Network, of course. So.
Mario, where can they find
Goodness.
you?
Simply
Oh, my.
Facebook. Just Facebook. Mario Benegas on Facebook. Plain and simple.
Facebook. You can find me at AdmiralJoker.com and at AdmiralJoker on Twitter. Yes, I tweet now. That just sounded dirty. I think I made that joke.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
You can also find me on Facebook, Matthew Majeski. If you can't spell it, just go to AdmiralJoker.com. I have a link there probably whenever I get around to putting it there. Twitter! Yes, you can always find me on Twitter. I'm going to start posting more stuff there, so you can follow me there with my ramblings and other bullshit. So,
and just think, if you go back to past episodes, how many times did I say I hate Twitter and now I'm all for it?
Well, yeah, but you just use it to start flame wars with fans of other radio personalities in our local market.
Yeah, and it's fun as shit. So, anyway.
You fucking troll. Anyways, be sure to check out our more shows at 4TWnetwork.com. I hope to start this probably next week. We're going to be starting the Babylon 5 vlogs with me and my wife. We're going to be reviewing every single 120-something episodes of Babylon 5. And the movie.
My gosh.
I might watch Babylon 5 along with you guys just to kind of go
and the movies. And maybe Crusade. I haven't watched Crusade since it first aired, so yes. So, you guys have any recommendations for the week before we go?
For the week, Kirby's Rainbow Curse comes out tomorrow, guys. So if you've all pre-ordered it or pre-downloaded it, get it tonight.
Cool. I have an anime to recommend. If you haven't seen it, Azumanga Daioh.
Yay!
Yes. I've been in a really depressed mood lately, and you know what? There's nothing cheers me up like Azumanga Daioh.
So the box-shaped one's an escalator, right?
I love that show. That show is awesome.
That show is like, well, Carrie had to compare it as the Seinfeld of anime.
Yes.
It's not much about anything.
In high school,
but it's
it is
funny as crap.
Oh yeah.
Huh. I have to look that up.
It's female centric for the characters, but it crosses gender boundaries. It's about these girls in high school, and it's just hilarious in the situations that crap. And yeah, an anime version of Seinfeld in high school is exactly what it is. It really is. And each episode's comprised of 5-minute segments. Because originally I think the comics themselves were only like 4 panels. So
I have all of them.
Yeah, it's a great series. Highly recommend it. Check it out. Do dub or
Great
do
show,
sub.
man.
Do not do dub. I have warned you.
I've watched them both. I've enjoyed them both, though. So boo.
I'm trying to think of. God damn it! I'm trying to think of my recommendation. It's a Blu-ray. Just came out.
John Wick.
It's coming out. What is it?
John Wick.
What?
John Wick.
John Wick? Did that? Oh yeah, John Wick. That's what it was. Thank you. Yeah, John Wick.
Yeah, that
definitely
was awesome.
Oh my God, Keanu Reeves is Neo again. Basically, he kicks ass.
Just remember this: do not kill Keanu Reeves' dog.
Oh, never kill his dog, dude. You're fucked. You can kill his wife.
Kill his wife.
He might slap you on the wrist, but you kill his dog. He
will burn you and everybody you know to the ground.
Seriously, dude. That's what that movie is about. Spoiler, guys. But damn, don't kill his dog.
Old bars. He's paid in Latinum. That's what he's paid in.
And it's got Willem Dafoe in it, so you know.
I think PETA might have had their hands in this somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, John Wick should be a PETA spokesman.
It really should.
Yes.
Whoa,
With
I'm
animals,
John
I'm
Wick
gonna
from
burn your whole
PETA.
family.
You kill animals, I will find you and I will kill you. Whoa, I'm like
And I'll
Liam
say-
Neeson or something. Whoa,
And I will be paid in gold bars.
yes.
Paid in gold bars. No, those are cougar ants, by the way. He was
Cougar
paid in cougar ants. I'm pretty sure they were.
Man, what Cougar Ants? Lethal Weapon 2?
Yeah, the gold coins, the big.
My bad. Thought there were gold bars.
Yeah,
Look
I'm
at
pretty
me.
sure.
Ooh.
I haven't watched
Really
it
awesome.
Someone will
yet.
probably correct me if I'm wrong, so it's fine. But I'm pretty sure it was cougar ants.
Man, the goddamn
Well-
Cougar Ant! Alright.
Listen, that is the international, currency for all hitmen across the world. Okay,
Heck yeah.
just like American Express, don't leave home without it.
Yeah, don't leave home. Yeah, don't leave home without your Cougar Ants.
Your sack of gold. Right?
Alright.
jeez.
Well, make sure you check us out at 4TWNetwork.com. For Chris, Real Cardi Kovacs, and Super Mario Benangas, I am Matthew, Admiral Joker Majeski, saying, have a good night, y'all.
See you guys.
Not.
And we are out.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm almost home. I'm just passing by.
I haven't been looking in the chat. Yeah, no, we had some viewers today. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. Honestly, with Premiere, by the way, I know it sounds stupid, but I was literally lost when I first hit new project. I'm like, okay, what do I select? I'm like, what the fuck do I select here? So I was gonna have you maybe explain it to me so I kind of get like what I'm looking at. I think I understand what the choices mean, but